Hello people, welcome one and all to another episode of the F1 2022 My Team series here on the channel. Today is the Spanish Grand Prix, one of my favourite tracks on previous years. Hopefully we have some luck in this race today with our under upgraded car. I want to say third worst car on the grid. Will we be able to hack the tight corners around this Spain circuit? Who knows? Let's find out in the race. You've got to find a compromise really in Spain for downforce and for straight line speed, with that long straight but also needing a lot of downforce through the corners. We are going to take a new gearbox for this race because of course they have changed the gearbox rules. Now we can just take a new gearbox whenever out of a pool of 4, so we're going to take a new gearbox. The last one was worn out. You can see we're checking out our R&D progress. We've got 2 upgrades to come before the next race, I want to say, in Monaco, so hopefully those do come through before Monaco. We have a drag reduction upgrade on the way and an ERS energy recovery system upgrade on the way as well. The ERS upgrades I definitely want to focus on to get more energy back into braking. But getting into this thing today, we've got the Pirelli Hotlap, I think they call it. I decided to try this one out. It was called Autocross, so I didn't really know what it consisted of. And as you can see, we're driving in an Aston Martin here, and we've got to go through these gates. And let me just tell you, on this game, the cars that aren't F1 cars, the handling is absolutely terrible. As you can see, I was flying off the circuit there. This just isn't fun to me. I said last episode or one before that I was going to stop doing these, but I thought I'd try this one out because it was called Autocross. I didn't know what to expect from it. And yeah, it wasn't fun at all. I appreciate Codemasters EA trying to put new stuff in the game, keep it engaging and things like that, but this is the last time I'm ever going to do one probably in a video, because yeah, it's just not for me at all. And we go off the track there again. Hopefully we don't go off the track this much in the actual race. That wouldn't be good to see, but you can see us drifting around that corner there. Yeah, these cars just not fun to drive, just not fun at all. Downhill braking zone now. You can see the target even for the bronze medal is 152 and we're currently at 205, so we failed the whole thing anyway already, as we get another few penalties for cutting the gates there. And yeah, coming through now, I think this is nearly over. The disaster pretty much. 152 is the bronze medal. We're currently nearly at 3 minutes, so that's not what we like to see. Getting into the race though, like I say, got to find the compromise between straight line speed and downforce. Hopefully we can get the setup right. I think I do show the setup in this video. But yeah, with our car being so poor at the start of the career mode, the downforce levels aren't really there. But like you've seen in previous episodes in Bahrain and such, we need to get that straight line speed in check as well, because we don't have much speed in a straight line. The car is just bad overall, if I'm honest. But like I say, if you haven't seen those previous episodes, go back and check them out before you watch this one. We're getting into qualifying now, but make sure you get yourself up to date with the season so you can see how things are going in the championship. You can see how things are going in the previous races for ourselves before we get into this one today. By the way, I just have to say, I love our car. The livery on our car, I absolutely love it. But getting into it today, braking around 75 meters for turn 1. Very easy to lose the back end through turn 2. In previous years, I haven't really noticed it this year. Complete flat out through turn 4. If you can't go flat out through here, this is where you need the downforce. If you can't go flat out through there, you lose so much time. Braking just under the bridge. 4th gear, pushing wide on the exit to carry as much speed through, bringing it back to the right. Braking as that white wall starts on the right. Of course, we do a track guide series here on the channel, so if you need to see these explanations for any other tracks, go and check out the track guide playlist. A very tricky section here as well, and you've reprofiled the curb on that outside there, so you don't want to touch that because that will kill you. Hitting the DRS points as early as possible down to the hairpin. I think they've widened the apex of this hairpin, breaking up to 100 meters, and I'm sure it is wider on the exit, and that might just be I don't even know what the thing's called when you believe something that's true and it's not, but I don't know. Another reprofiled section of the track we're getting into now. This chicane at the end, they've reprofiled the curbs again. So on the X to the chicane here on the left, you can see that yellow sausage curb. That wasn't there in previous years. You could run wide on that curb in last year's game, but now you can't. So you've got to really keep it tight through the chicane. And you can see we set a decent lap there, good enough for P16. Obviously not good enough to get out of Q1. So we go again for another lap, and you can see we are up in the delta coming through turn 4. we do have to lift a little because we didn't have the downforce, and you can see just how much time we lose just from lifting a little bit through turn 4. It is crazy. Charles Leclerc takes a provisional pole. Well, no, not provisional pole because it's Q1. But Charles Leclerc takes the fastest lap of this Q1 session. And we're down in the Delta. We're still pushing now. I know there's all to play for. Definitely time to make up in that chicane, getting into this tricky uphill section now. And we ride the curb on the exit, and oh, we're into the wall. We are into the wall. I told you, don't touch that curb on the outside because you will die. And as you've seen, we've touched it, and it just completely threw us into the wall. Just completely lost control of the car. Had no control over that. Just touched it a little bit, and see, it just absolutely catapults us into the wall there. So that's going to be a big repair job for the team to get that car back into race shape for the next day and the race in Spain. And yeah, just look at that. As soon as we touch the curb, just fly off. Camera cuts away to not show the crash. But terminal damage retire from the qualifying session, which is unfortunate. It means we can't improve on our time. Hopefully we stayed in P16, which I doubt, because it seems like whoever's last on track sets the fastest lap in this game compared to previous years. You never keep your time. Everyone just gets faster through quali as the track rubbers in. We are going to be P22, which is unfortunate because as you saw with that first lap, it looked like we had a bit of pace in Spain. So starting from the back of the grid, maybe we can translate that pace into the race, hopefully. And yeah, we're going to take a new ICE because we're currently on 51%, and at the time of recording this race, there was still that ICE glitch in the game. So we're going to take a new ICE just in case we get that ICE glitch where we have the engine wear. Now, shout out Dutchy Games, he told me it was fixed. Find out next episode if it is fixed. Let's get to the race. The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula 1 calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day, he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down into Turn 1. This is a 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through the 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out Turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of Turn 9. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and Magnussen, Ocon, Norris, Joe, and Daniel Ricciardo, Gasly, Tsunoda, George Russell, they've taken a grid penalty, and Albon, Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, and Mick Schumacher. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Oscar Piastri, Latifi, Perez, and the owner driver. And now it's time to head down to the track. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Natalie Pinkham. Now, our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into Turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get a clean start. And this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space. And finding your braking point into Turn 1 as well. It's testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
There we have it then, people. Sergio Perez starting from P21 with a grid penalty, starting alongside us on the grid. I'm sure Perez has took a penalty already this season, so that's bizarre from Perez. One-stop strategy out, considered the two-stop, but we go with the one-stop as we see the lights go out here in Spain. Slow start for the Ferraris compared to Max Verstappen in P3. Looks like one of the Mercedes in P4. I think it's Lewis Hamilton off to a quick start as well. And you can see Perez blitzes us into Turn 1. Can we send it down the outside? No, we can't. Way too far back to send it. Can we go around the outside of Perez? Trying to stick with this pack. We've already been left in the dust. As you can see, Perez round the outside. He got a bit wobbly there through Turn 4. Sergio Perez into the next braking zone, tucking into that slipstream. You can see how many people trying to make moves into this next point. There's 3 wide in front of us. Piastri, Stroll and Latifi. Can we get a switchback on Sergio Perez there? Look at that launch through that corner, and we take Latifi too, and off the track. We have to brake off the track because we were about to fly into the back of Lance Stroll. Perez up the inside of Piastri and Stroll. What a move that was on us to get past Perez and Latifi though, just for Perez to send it back, and now Latifi sends one up the inside. I think there was a bit of contact between me and Latifi, with us touching front wheels there. Not what we like to see. Nicholas Latifi, very shaky driver. You don't want to see him alongside you. Into the hairpin now, just trying to stick with this pack in front of us and not get left behind here on turn 1 as we understeer heavily through that hairpin. The tyres still cold with this only being lap 1. Understeering again through this next corner. Can we try and get them up to temperature and try and stick with this pack? You can see Perez trying to make a lot of moves to get forward. Obviously that Red Bull, second best car in the grid in our career mode, behind the Ferrari, so he's going to be flying through the pack, you would assume. Lance Stroll on the soft tyres just in front of us, in front of our teammate Oscar Piastri. So Lance going with an alternate strategy compared to other people around. We did consider the 2-stop, like I said, starting on softs, going into the softs and then hards to finish the race. But I decided to go with medium soft. Spain is an easy 1-stop, so I didn't really want to take that extra pit stop. But previous races have shown I don't get along with hard tyres. I just do not get along with hard tyres, so maybe putting them off as long as possible and going with that double soft strategy to put off getting onto those hard tyres for as long a stint as possible. Maybe that would have been a good option because, like I say, don't agree with hard tyres, but maybe the hard tyres will click in this race. You'll have to find out later when we come in for our pit stop. But still, just trying to stick with the pack. It's the same thing every race for the first 2 laps. Just try and stick with the car in front of you, because if they get DRS on the car in front and you don't have DRS on them, they will leave you in the dust. Lap 3, DRS is enabled. We are sticking with our teammate Oscar Piastri as we come up towards the first of 2 DRS zones here in Spain. Getting into the uphill section now, and this flat out right-hander at the top, bit of oversteer we managed to catch there. In previous years this was flat out. I could not take it flat out in these new cars, or maybe it's just because our car's not upgraded. Snap of oversteer again, coming out of that corner. That allows Latifi to get a bit of a jump on us, even though we have DRS on Piastri. Latifi gonna have DRS on us. Up the inside, Latifi, it's a good move from Nicholas Latifi. Can I make it stick? We're gonna send it back up the inside through this right-hander. Who's going to come out ahead here between me and Nicholas Latifi into this tricky section now, into the chicane, and we push Latifi. We're going to be in front into the chicane. Good racing from me and Nicholas Latifi there, but we are not going to have DRS on Piastri anymore. That battle has cost us 5/10 on the car in front. Mick Schumacher comes into the pits. He must have taken some damage in one of these first 4 laps here, but yeah, we're not going to have DRS down the straight, unfortunately, which means that Piastri and Stroll will probably just run away from us now unless we can do something to put a dent in that lead, and no, we can't. You can see on lap 5, starting lap 5, 2.2 seconds is the gap ahead. Latifi now with DRS behind us and getting into turn 1. Look at that for a move from me. I go early on the brakes and try and get the switch back on Latifi, and he locks up into turn 1, exactly what I expected him to do. And then now Latifi is nearly 2 seconds behind us from that lockup, going off the track there. Very nice driving for me. I really enjoyed that move. You know, when you do something like, or you expect something to happen and it just happens. You can see him fly off the track there as we take the corner very nicely. But yeah, I just love when that happens, when you think I'm gonna do this and then it actually works. But yeah, it is Nicholas Latifi. Outsmarting Latifi isn't really that big of a feat, but it is what it is. Now he is 1.7 behind us. Now we're in that like Goldilocks zone, I like to call it. Not too hot, not too cold, not too close to the car in front to get DRS, but not close enough to the car behind for them to get DRS. So yeah, understeer. Look at that understeer coming through that corner. Latifi back within that 1 second now. Latifi must have been putting in the laps, as we have not been putting in very good laps in this race so far. The cars in front again just pulling away. Once they get that DRS train going and have that little, you know, switching round of getting DRS on each other and then just going along through the race with that extra speed down the straights, it's just so hard to catch them. It really is on this game. 6 seconds the gap ahead. Latifi tries to go around the outside this time. We defend the inside. He's not going to be able to make that move Mick Schumacher catching on us. He's only 15 seconds behind now on soft tyres. Mick obviously going to have to stop again in this race, and Alonso overtakes Mick Schumacher. As I say that in the top left, you can see Alonso's been into the pits. I wonder what strategy Fernando was running there. A lot of people into the pits now by lap 11. A lot of the front runners who started on soft tyres, Ricciardo, Vettel are seen there. Latifi up the inside this time. I try and do the same thing again and get the switch back on him, but it doesn't work. This time Latifi just gets ahead of us. And yeah, he's got quite a gap to us now as well, coming through turn 4, as you can see. But we're tucked into that slipstream. Have a little look up the inside. It's not good enough, not close enough to send one on Latifi. You saw it last time out in whatever race we was in last time. I actually forgot now. But we did send one on Latifi in the last second, and it was just pointless, and we made contact. In Miami it was actually that. And I sent it on Latifi and we made contact. Let's try not to make contact with Latifi on lap 11 here, because we've still got 2/3 of the race left to go. We don't want to be picking up damage on lap 11. Hitting that DRS down, using our battery. We don't have much battery. Like I say, we burn this battery so quick. That is why I want to focus on those ERS upgrades in the R&D tree, because it means that when we go into braking, obviously that's when the car harvests that energy back into the battery. We can harvest more energy into braking zones, and then that will obviously give us more battery through the race, which is what we need to really focus on. So I'm going to be saving up R&D points to try and focus, like I say, on that section, as well as the drag reduction. We've got Baku coming up next before the next set of upgrades. We don't have the upgrades until after Monaco, so it'll be Baku, long straight in Baku, as we try and look up the inside of Latifi. Good defending from Latifi to push us really right close to the inside, and we almost go into the back of him there. Had to take evasive action, dipping one wheel off the track. Trying to stick with him. He's trying to pull it ahead, but yeah, good defender from Latifi. We saw similar defender from Zhou Guanyu in Miami too, just really pushing us to that inside, not letting us send it up the inside. Maybe should have learned from that battle with Zhou in Miami, and when they push it to the inside, just come off the throttle a little and try and get the switch back to the outside. But on lap 13 here, more people come into the pits. And of course, me and Latifi heading towards the pit entry now, but we're not going in. We're going to come down the main straight. We do stick in that DRS zone, and we open that rear wing, as you can see, tucked into the slipstream of Latifi, using what battery we have left. The pit window is now open. They want us to box this lap. Can we get ahead of Latifi before we have to come into the pits? Round the outside through turn 1. Can we make it? And we almost make contact there. A snap of the steering wheel from me to put us off the track there, so we don't make contact with the back of Nicholas Latifi. We get a good launch out of turn 4 though. Look at this, up the inside, running down into where the bridge is, and oh, there's contact with Latifi, and we've got damage to the front wing. Latifi turns in on us, and we've got damage to the front wing on lap 14 of 33. We were supposed to box this lap anyway, and now we have a damaged front wing, and you can see the understeer already coming through that corner. The loss of downforce is crazy. Nicholas Latifi. Now this was a controversial one, because from this angle right here, it looks like I drove straight into him, as you can see, but we'll see more angles. I'm putting the blame on Latifi there. I was alongside him. He has to give me that space into the corner, and you can see Latifi's just, look how shaky he is on the steering wheel. He just keeps shaking it, turning into us, and it's just what you hate to see. Look, from my angle, he turns in on us twice. Like, but from the other angle, it looked like I drove into him, but Latifi driving into us, knocking our front wing off there, not giving us the space. We're in Spain, Fernando Alonso's hometown. All of the time you have to leave it a space, and he didn't leave the space, and now we have a damaged front wing, and now there's two cars, Fernando Alonso behind us actually, with Daniel Ricciardo ironically. So can we hobble back to the pits and try and get this front wing changed, as well as we get the new tyres on, of course. Our teammate Oscar Piastri 11 seconds ahead now before he's came in for his pit stop. That is not what we like to see. 11 seconds difference to our teammates. Getting down into the hairpin now. Will one of these cars look to send it up the inside? One's close to us. It's Daniel Ricciardo. He's overtook Latifi. Alonso on soft tyres also overtook Latifi. And look at the understeer coming through that corner. We just have no downforce on this front wing anymore. And our teammate is into the pits. Oscar Piastri into the pits. He was 11 seconds ahead of us. Do the team have 11 seconds difference to get Piastri out of the pits? But by the time we reach the end of the pit lane, of course, being being the new team, our team is at the end of the pit lane, so it gives the team more time to get Piastri on his way. As we come into the pits now, gonna get those new hard tyres and that new front wing set. Optimal turning, but it says 2.2/2.5 seconds, and nobody's changing the front wing. Nobody's changing the front wing. Look, you can see this damage on the MFD. You could feel the damage driving the car, but nobody changed the front wing. Obviously, it's set to auto, so I just thought they would have done it. But you've got to change it in the MFD, and look how cold these hard tyres are as we go straight off the track. Get absolutely catapulted out to the pits there by the computer, by the way. They don't give you a chance to control the car coming out to the pits. They just absolutely throw you off the track. And with these ice-cold tyres, which someone pointed out to me, is a new regulation in real life. The tyre blankets have less heat in them. And look at the understeer, just how cold these tyres are. The front's just not gripping at all when we turn in. Yeah, someone pointed out that it's a new regulation. The tyre blankets have less heat in them. But Zhou Guan Yu out of the session there. Unfortunate weekend for the Alfa Romeo driver. Unfortunate weekend for us. You can see now Latifi 4.7 seconds ahead. Just how much time we lost through these laps with that damaged front wing. And it was costing us nearly a second a lap really to Latifi in front. Now Mick Schumacher's caught up to us. Schumacher's pit twice. And he's still caught up to us and sent one up the inside there in the Haas to make that overtake. The Haas obviously a lot better car than ours, but Mick Schumacher's pit twice and now he's overtook us. Like, that's craziness. That is craziness. We were losing so much performance from that damaged front wing, which I again put full blame on Latifi. Maybe it was a bit reckless from me as well to try and go wheel to wheel with Latifi through that corner. Should have tucked him behind him, but I'm a racing driver. You know, if there's a gap, I am going to go for it. We get blue flags on lap 23 here. We're going to let Charles Leclerc go past. As we mess with the MFD in the bottom right, we change front wing damage repair to yes, and we set it to new soft tyres. So I'm considering a pit stop here, boys. There's 10 laps left in this race. Schumacher 7 seconds ahead. Gasly 22 seconds ahead. Latifi 8 seconds ahead. Don't even know where Piastri is. Piastri must have overtook Pierre Gasly. We box on lap 24, or at the end of lap 23, start of lap 24. 4 new soft tyres. There's nothing to lose here at this point. We're dead last anyway. We were going to continue to be dead last. And I just thought to myself, you know, if there's a late safety car or something, at least we're on fresh soft tyres, which will definitely last us 9 laps. A bit, obviously, cold coming out the pits, but very easy to warm up soft tyres compared to, well, not very easy, but a lot easier than those hard tyres to warm up. Of course, you saw how much we struggle with the soft tyres, as we have a snap of oversteer as well coming through turn 2. But yeah, so onto the hard tyres now. The gap in front of Schumacher, you see 35 seconds, and I am really just relying on there being a late safety car. That's the only reason or only way we could get back into this in any way. Lap 26 now, just getting lapped by a few more people. There's Bottas in front. I believe that's Bottas in the Alfa Romeo, and we've spun on lap 26. That is not what we like to see. This weekend's going from bad to worse. There goes Daniel Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, I want to say. So yeah, we get lapped by Esteban Ocon. We got lapped by Esteban Ocon, my least favourite driver on the grid. He has lapped us. I feel so embarrassed. Realistically, we should have just retired the car on lap 20. Save the engine components, not put the wear into the engine. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, I thought I'd stick it out, try and finish the race, but Esteban Ocon lapping us is a low point in our season, and we've spun again. You see, we're checking the tyre temperatures. Those rears were still on fire from that spin in the previous lap. And again, now they've really heated up. 2 spins in one race. We've been lapped by the top 10. It's just not good. It's not looking good, boys. It really isn't. Lap 23. There's only like 5 laps left, if you want to call it that, because we've been lapped. So, yeah, like, we may as well finish it out and not go for that retirement to save the engine. But you see that rear left tyre just on fire. Pierre Gasly out of the session, and the safety car has been deployed on lap 27 of 33. Our prayers have been answered. The safety car is deployed. Let's see what happened here. Oscar Piastri wheel to wheel with Fernando Alonso as Gasly comes through turn 1, and Piastri spins and he takes off Pierre Gasly's tyre and then takes off. It's almost like we told him to do it on the team radio, and maybe we did, but don't tell the FIA that. Coming through turn 1, look at this. Gasly and Piastri making contact. Oscar Piastri, that was absolutely crazy. Like, it literally looked like he'd done it on purpose. He tail whipped him. Look at this. The back end steps out somehow to the left, and then he spins. It's like he does the 619 Rey Mysterio style, kicks off his front wing and his front right tyre. That is absolutely madness. But on lap 30 now, we didn't catch the safety car queue. You see how far behind we were. We still haven't caught the safety car queue, even though we're pushing to catch it. And the safety car's coming in this lap, and we still haven't caught the safety car queue. And what was weird, we had a group behind us as well, led by Sergio Perez. And when it said this, maintain speed, Sergio Perez slowed down that pack behind us. And obviously there's no overtaking in the safety car. So you can see in the map in the bottom left, Perez slowing those cars up as we're trying to catch the cars ahead. Can we catch them? Because they're going through the chicane and stuff before the end of the lap. Gonna be going slow. Obviously there's no mechanic in this game still for lap cars to unlap themselves during a safety car, which would have been really nice for us if that was the case. We could have had a really good finish here, nailed the strategy going onto those soft tyres behind the safety car, or going onto the soft tyres in expectance of a safety car. But coming through the chicane, you can see the back end of one of the McLarens there. We have caught up. We're not going to have DRS down the straight. Well, nobody will, of course, because it's been a safety car and it doesn't get turned on for 2 more laps. But to start lap 31, there is 3 laps left in this race, and we're going to push as hard as possible on these soft tyres, getting a bit of wear in them now, but everyone else on old hards. I fancy ourselves on these medium old softs. There's a yellow flag in front, and there's more cars. Look at these cars going side by side through turn 4. We get a great exit here. Ricardo, Ocon, Latifi, overtaking Latifi. We've managed to gain a position back on Nicholas Latifi up into P19 now. And we've overtook so many cars there. There goes Sonoda, Bottas and Hamilton fighting. Bottas and Hamilton, have not seen those two go wheel to wheel for a long time. Hamilton stays ahead though of the Alfa Romeo. Now I'm thinking we should be seeing blue flags here. We've just overtook like 7 cars that we shouldn't have because we've been blue flagged. But at least we got past Latifi. Latifi's now 3 seconds behind. Lando Norris, the car behind. Now we get the blue flags from Lando Norris behind us, trying to catch up with those cars in front. Unfortunately, I wanted to push to these. We could have got DRS down the main straight, but can we still try and keep that speed up? You see Schumacher 2.7 seconds ahead. There's all to play for still. 2.7 seconds in 2 laps. There is definitely all to play for. If he's getting lapped by some people as well, got to slow down, come off the racing line. Very easy for us to catch him then, if that is the case. So coming through now, Lando Norris will have DRS on us coming through the final turn down the straight, and we do have blue flags, so I'm going to pull over to the side. But Norris tucks into our slipstream, and I'm like, Norris, bro, overtake us. We're going to get a penalty for ignoring blue flags. And he doesn't. There goes Ricardo, and there's a big shunt in the back. Esteban Ocon off the track. Esteban Ocon, we get a warning for the collision with Ocon. Ocon is out of the session. Now, surely that should have been another safety car, but you don't deploy the safety car when there's 2 laps left. Look, we have to go off the track. There goes Ocon, weaving down the straight and straight into the back of our car. What is happening in this race? Look at this, Ocon weaving and smacked into the back of us, losing his front wing and his front tyre. All he had to do was follow the racing line, follow that McLaren through. Look, he tucks to the inside and just drive straight into us. I don't know what he was thinking. I was away from the racing line. All he had to do was follow the 2 McLarens through, and he would have overtaken us behind the blue flags. But we were lucky not to take any rear wing damage, rear suspension damage, even lose a tyre in that collision there. But Esteban Ocon in P17, I do want to say. And well, I don't know why it says in the top right 19 out of 19, because Latifi is still in P20. Oh no, there's only 19 cars left because obviously Ocon's retired now. That makes sense, but it still doesn't make sense to say we're 19th because we're ahead of Latifi, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, trying to chase down Latifi there. The gap to Schumacher, you can see, is too far gone now, probably within the 1.5 laps that we do have left in this race. But just trying to overtake Ocon again, because he's dropped now to P17. He was in like P8. But you would assume if someone on DNFs, you automatically overtake them. No, because they don't finish the race. Charles Leclerc finishes the race, so we actually do 1 lap less. It wasn't 1.5 laps, it was just a half. Obviously, because we've been lapped, so we do 1 lap less. There's Latifi. Can he send one up the inside into the finish line? No, we managed to stay ahead of Latifi at the end of the race there. Bittersweet, that result in the end, 19th. But we managed to get ahead of Latifi in the end, who caused us to change our front wing and caused us to pit twice. Just annoying that the team didn't change the wing on that first pit stop, but who knows, maybe we wouldn't have had such an entertaining ending to the race if it wasn't for that botched pit stop and not changing the front wing. But yeah, look at that, Charles Leclerc wins the race again. He's won every race that he's finished so far this season in our career mode. Charles absolutely running away with the championship at the moment. But very bizarre ending to the race, and I will show you the leaderboard in a sec. We didn't overtake Esteban Ocon. If someone doesn't finish the race, how do I finish below them? Like, can you please make that make sense? He covered more race distance, I guess, because he lapped us. But that shouldn't matter. He didn't finish the race because he crashed into the back of us like an idiot. So why does he get to finish above me in the race? I don't understand it. Do not understand it. I understand, like, maybe it's because he covered more race distance, but it still doesn't matter. If you crash out the race, I should finish ahead of you. But yeah, absolutely chaotic race in Spain. I expected this one to be quite boring after that first stint on the medium tyres, and I was like, we're just dead last. It's going to be a boring race, but 2 safety car incidents at the end. Should have brought out the safety car for Ocon, but of course it is a game, so they don't do that. But Magnussen in P7 in the Haas, that's a decent result for the Haas driver. Sergio Perez only ended up in P10, coming from P21 on the grid. And you can see there, Piastri finishes P16 above Ocon. We don't finish above Ocon, neither does Mick Schumacher or Nicholas Latifi. 3 people who actually finished the race, finishing below someone who didn't finish the race. That's absolutely crazy to me. We should have been P18. Not that it matters because we don't get points or not, but still should have been P18, and you can see Leclerc extending his gap in the driver's standings by 30 points. Ferrari extending their gap by 76 points to the car behind. Absolutely running away with the championship at the moment. Who can stop Charles Leclerc? Are we going to be able to? Definitely not this season. We can't even score points yet. When are we going to get our first points? Who knows? You have to wait and see. Can we get it in Monaco next time out? I'm actually top 5,000 in the world on the leaderboards for Monaco right now, so maybe that is something to go off. Maybe we have a good race in Monaco. You'll have to wait and see in the lead in the next race on the My Team series. First time driving Monaco on wheel and pedals as well. First ever time doing it. Last year was always on controller when we did Monaco, so this year wheel and pedal setup, and let me just say, it was a lot more fun on wheel and pedals than it is on controller. I used to leave it out of career modes last year because it was so hard on controller, but I absolutely love it on wheel and pedals. Stay tuned for that next race, see where we finish in Monaco. Like I say, top 5,000 on the leaderboards. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all. Like, comment, share and subscribe. You know the vibes. Take it easy.